had flashbacks while the choir was singing Shalom Aleichem of being in my year in Israel on a Shabbat evening, doing a progressive dinner from one house to the next, and we would sing Shalom Aleichem and Kiva Moed as we go from house to house. We didn't sound as good as the choir did. We were just a bunch of rabbinical students. It sounded much better when we picked up the cantorial students on the second stop, and we just kind of mouthed along. But there was this sense of joy and of just being able to be out there and proud of being a Jew in Israel as we wandered these ancient streets. And Shalom Aleichem is all about having these ministering angels guide you and protect you and keep you on your path as you would go home from shul. And there was a little pain of sadness there, thinking about the streets of Jerusalem today and how, after the news of 31 additional hostages dead this week, that I don't think there's probably that much singing for joy in the streets this Shabbat. You know, usually when we do the Hine Ma Tov and we're singing along, we have the piano going and it's this full-bodied expression of how wonderful it is to be together. In light of everything happening in the world, I appreciate just the acoustics of it, the a cappella nature, that we were there, that we're joyful to be together, but also acknowledging how hard this moment in time is. I want to invite you to reflect on the moment as it is, not necessarily to push it away or to pretend what's happening in the world isn't happening in the world, but to just sit with it for a moment or two so we can be fully present with one another as we enter Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Allison Warzala, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. Whether you're here with us in person or joining us on live stream, we're so glad you could be with us tonight to welcome in Shabbat. And now I'd like to invite Suzanne Peskin up to the bima to light our Shabbat candles. The blessings can be found on pages 2 and 3. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher tishanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who follows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
continue with the Hunaranana on page 12. Shirula Ladunai on page 13.
Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Asuri Al Yeshuato, Tahu Hagoyim Kerodo, V'Kol Ha'amim Mitzvotav, Gikado Adonai, U'Mehulahu, V'Lahu Kol Elohim, V'Kol Elohim Hamim Elohim, V'Chanai Shamayim Asar, Od V'Hadol V'Fanav, Oz V'Tiferet V'Mikdasho, Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Asur Miyom Miyom Yeshuato, Ahu Adonai, Tekohari, Ahu Adonai, Kevod Kados, Ahu Adonai, Kevod Shemo, Ishtachavu Adonai, Bechad Kodesh, Shiru Mekodav Haaretz, Imru Hakayim Adonai Malach, Avtikon Tevel Batilon, Yadim Amim Ben HaMesharim, Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato. Shiru l'Adonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato.
Lachadodi is on pages 20 and 21.
Shamor v'zahor v'dibor echad, Yishmianu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila.
Lechadodi likatikala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likatikala, Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Mikdash melech melucha, kumetim itolecha, rav lach shaveh b'mehavecha, v'hu yachamo alaychema.
Lechadodi likatikala, Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Na'ari me'afar kumi, leave she big day tifartek ani, al yad ben Yishai, beit halachmi, korva el nafshi ge'ala.
Lechadodi likatikala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Ay, 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 lechadodi, ay, 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 likrakala, ay, 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 Penei Shabbat nekabela. Ay, 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 lechadodi, ay, 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 likrakala, ay, 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 Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Lo tivoshi v'lo tikalmi, ma tishtochachi u'matechemi. Bar yechasu ani ye'ami, v'nivnita iratila.
Ay, 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 lechadodi, ay, 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 likrakala, ay, 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 Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Ayulam shisa shosayik brachakum kol mevalayik yasisalayik Elohayik kimsos chatan alkala.
Ay, 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 lechadodi, ay, 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 likrakala.
היידי האיש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה
איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי איי איי
We arise neither body or spirit,
פני שבת לקראת מלה. אוי ושלום הטרף עלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת לקבלה, איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקראת כלה, איי 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 בני שבת לקבלה.
Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחיי כל וביומי כל, ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבן מבורך לעולם עולם לעלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
We rise in either body or spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 28.
Lai lai lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai lai lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bevaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitfuna mishanei tim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmeroteim barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzavot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid imloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta. Arkein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shokbeinu uv'kumenu, b'shokbeinu uv'kumenu, nasiach tzedkecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, u'b'mitzvotecha. Chayenu, chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem neged yomam v'halayla, ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo. Ohev Amo Yisrael. Amen. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, amen.
We continue together on the bottom of page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporesh sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'shalom, L'shalom. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom. V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim U'L'shalom, U'L'shalom. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, Ufros aleinu Sukat Shamecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom. Ushmor tzedkenu uvoenu l'chaim u'shalom ve'ata ve'ad olam. Ufros aleinu Sukat shlomecha aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת כולם יספרו מתעמקו בטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת, חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת, ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. למעשה בראשית שבת, מעשה בראשית שבת, ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. Let me find the words that linger on my lips, the prayer within my heart. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Ani, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מקלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We continue now with Tefillat Halev, the personal and private prayers of the heart, either using what's in your Siddur until page 63, or more importantly, the words inscribed upon your hearts, after which you're invited to be seated. I typically don't put a disclaimer before my sermon, but I'm going to be, because there are kids here, I'm going to be speaking about what's been happening in Israel this past week, as well as the rise of anti-Semitism that we're seeing around us. So if you have a child who might be sensitive to that, I'm just giving you a warning. I'm not saying anything that I don't think my son Gavin, who's in 5th grade, shouldn't hear or couldn't hear, but I want every parent to be their own judge. My week started this week by going into New York City, by immediately finishing our high school seniors class at my house and then booking it into the city to meet up with 2 other couples, with my wife Allison, to celebrate my friend Gennadi's birthday. My friend Gennady and his wife Becca, along with Dmitri and his wife Sophia, Dima and Gena are both from Ukraine. Dima's from Kyiv and Gena is from Odessa. And before they found themselves in Brooklyn, New York, where I met them in high school, Gena went and lived in Afula in Israel for a couple of years. And he showed a tremendous lack of respect to authority. So his mother sent him to live with his father in Brooklyn because she was afraid somebody in the IDF would shoot him just because of his blatant disrespect for authority. So he came here when he was 15, and that's when I met him in high school. And Gena's always been a very artsy person, and I have a couple of paintings that he did in my house, and he just loves the whimsical and also loves to just authority just a little bit, just a lot of it. And he picked a restaurant in the Bowery called Freeman's Restaurant, or Freeman's. And it's the end of this really cool alley called Freeman's Alley. On our way walking there, I really thought we were going to be stabbed, but then you turn the corner and you start to see a lot of graffiti. And the graffiti is all artsy graffiti. And it's about love, and it's about, anti-capitalism. And it's about, just every underground art coming up. And as we were walking there, there was this big mural that was painted, "Place only love here, no hate." And I thought, oh, this is going to be really interesting. And we're walking to this really old restaurant. And a couple more steps in, we start seeing things like "Ceasefire now," "Free Palestine," "From the river to the sea." By the time we got closer to the restaurant, the restaurant, by the way, didn't put any of this up. This was all just people coming and doing this. By the time we got halfway down the alleyway, there was this big mural that said, "Israel's the new Nazi Germany." And we started dinner. Lovely dinner. Highly recommend the food. And I'm just quiet. And everybody's joking around and whatnot. And again, it turns to me and says, "Oh, why are you so quiet?" So look at all this stuff. Look what's entered the world since October 7th. Look what we're dealing with. Even here, this is yesterday, there was this big rally right outside the Heldrich that was demanding the ceasefire of the war. And then they marched to Congressman Pallone's office. If you were to go to their Instagram posts, you would see things like end the war. I'm all for ending the war. You see things like Palestine needs to exist as well. I'm all for that as well. Israel's the new Nazi Germany. And that's where we start going into anti-Semitism. At the dinner, we got into this really long debate. Between the three of us, you had someone on the right, you had someone on the left, and you had someone sitting in the middle. I won't identify who's who. Well, you can probably figure out where Genna is. Someone was talking about how can you weigh the lives of the 1,200, 1,300 Israelis against the 30,000 Palestinians. That just doesn't equate. The war needs to end. No mention of the hostages, though, which is a critical part of why we're there. On the other end, we have to completely annihilate Hamas. And it doesn't matter if the hostages don't come back. We just need to end Hamas to keep Israel safe. And in the middle, there's just this sense that everybody is losing. It doesn't matter what side you're on anymore. It just feels like everybody is losing right now. I found myself, as I do at times like these, looking to the words of our tradition. I found myself looking at this week's Torah portion, which starts, Ve'ela hamishpatim asher ta'asim lefanecha. These are the rules, the laws that you shall set before them. So we just went through this exodus from Egypt. We were just an enslaved people with no ability for self-determination. We're looking to become a nation in the world. And the first thing we get when we taste our freedom is God says, if you're going to be a people and a nation, these are the rules you need to live by. And then there's a whole slew of laws about how to treat slaves, laws on how to treat animals, laws on how to treat one another. I start looking through all these laws. You have stuff like one who fatally strikes another and kills them shall be put to death. When a person schemes against another to kill them through treachery, you must bring them to my altar and put them to death. One who kidnaps a person, whether sold or still holding the victim, you shall put this person to death. We have a commandment that we must redeem all of the captives. This is part of our kishkas, of who we are, that when there are people who are hostage, we must free them. But the commandments go on. You shall not wrong or oppress a stranger in your land, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You will not oppress the orphan, will not oppress the widow. You must take care of the vulnerable. All the vulnerable in your land must be safeguarded because you were strangers and you felt the pain of persecution. Do not persecute another person. This will probably tell you which of the three I was. I found this to be a very sad week for Jews, not just with the protests, but also with the news that another 30-plus hostages were killed in Gaza, which means that a fifth of the hostages are now dead. and about 105 still left in captivity. And the war just moved further south with bombings in heavily dense cities. I was sitting with, later on in our Torah portion, another verse about digging pits. That if you dig a pit in the wilderness or in the area, and an animal goes wandering and falls into the pit and hurts itself or dies, you're liable. The rabbis looked at it and said, you're being reckless and you're causing the endangerment of others. And you're liable if you're behaving in a reckless manner. I've been stewing on that one for a couple of days because I'm looking at Netanyahu and what his administration is doing. And I wonder if what they're doing right now is digging pits, if they're behaving recklessly and causing danger to all of us. Anti-Semites don't need an excuse to be anti-Semitic, but it'd be nice if we didn't give them one. I don't really have an answer for you in tonight's sermon. I think what I'm doing is probably sitting with many of you and holding the pain of what's going on and the uncertainty of what's happening in my heart. Not all sermons are for answers. Many of them are to express feelings and emotions. Right now, it just feels like everyone is losing, and it's becoming harder and harder to figure out how somebody here wins. But I know we need our people back. I know we need to make sure that Israel is protected from the outside, but also from the inside. The other week, 40 IDF chiefs wrote a letter to the Knesset saying that Netanyahu represented an existential threat to the country. That when given a choice between choosing to protect Israel and choosing to protect himself, they thought he'd probably choose to protect himself. I don't disagree with that premise. Maybe this is something we can do. Next year is the World Zionist Congress elections. Everyone should vote in it. It's how we make sure we have a seat at the table to express our feelings and our thoughts to the Knesset. But I think right now we just need to sit with the uncertainty and the sadness of what's going on. And we need to remind people, because I think it's being forgotten, that there are still hostages in Gaza, and we can't forget about that. But if the goal of this offensive was to bring back our hostages, are we doing that? If the goal was to wipe out Hamas, do we have a pathway for doing that? And if we don't have an answer for either one of those, we need to think about what we're doing. But Israel at its very core is unlike any other nation because we want to redeem our captives. But we should be doing it in a just and civilized way because, as our Torah portion puts it, these are the rules and laws of which you live by. You defend yourself, you protect yourself, but you need to do it in a just and ethical way, because that's how your society will remain. It's a scary time out there. It's scary for us to be Jews, but that's why we're in community together. Not just to do justice, like our teens are doing right now in Washington, D.C., at the Litaken trip, but also to hold each other when we need to be held. And maybe this week, is one of those weeks. Shabbat Shalom.
From the Mishnah, Pirkei Avot, Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Kayam. The three things the world stands on. Al Ha'emet, on truth, Ve'al Hadin, on justice, Ve'al Hashalom, and on peace.
On this Shabbat Eve, as we join together as one congregation to celebrate creation and the joy of life and living, we turn our thoughts to those in our community for whom life has become precarious because of health or hospitalization. We also think about our hostages still left in Gaza and the pain and the suffering of those who are innocent. I want to invite you to look at the service sheet that you have, either at home online or that you have in front of you, and say the name of someone you're thinking of aloud or the name of somebody you recognize or find in your service sheet that you'd like to say a prayer for, and say their name aloud right now, and if names overlap, that's okay. O God of healing, we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers together with the prayers of those who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you place within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care, And may the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and their families. And may they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs, as together we say, Amen.
Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, veLeah, Hu yivarech virapeh et hacholim.
We continue on page 282 as we rise in either body or spirit for Elenu.
Aleinu l'shameach l'ador hakol, l'teinu l'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu mahem, v'gor aleinu ככל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו
Yesh kochavim shoram magia artsa. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those whose families are observing the Shloshim. We remember Gloria Cohen, wife of Dr. Fred Cohen of blessed memory, mother of Joe and Debbie, Ed and Betsy and Sean, grandmother of Alicia and Theo, Ariel and Aaron, Beth and Joe, and great-grandmother of Marlon, Miles, and Elliot, as well as Juniper. And we remember Norma Luster, wife of Isaac of blessed memory, mother of Ed and Amy, Reuben and Patricia, grandmother of Heather and Joshua and Susan, Natasha and Erica, and Jason and Heather, Thomas and Victoria, and Matthew, and great-grandmother of Michaela, Mackenzie, McKenna, and Charlie, Austin, Aiden, Elijah, Miles, and Mason. We also remember Irma Siegel, wife of Jack of blessed memory, mother of Susan and Michael, Erwin and Eileen, Randy and Alyssa, grandmother of Ashley and Eli, Sam, Matthew and Sage, Scott and Chrissy, Jamie and Adam and Allison, Justin and Laura, and great-grandmother of Aiden, AJ, Lila, and Ella. And some of you might have seen the email earlier today, and we learned earlier today that Paul Smilo, husband of Turby, father of Perry and Bud, Jill and Howard, Marnie and John, has passed away. He died down in Florida. Perry and Bud will be coming up here and sitting Shiva Sunday and Monday. The email has one address for Shiva on Monday. It is incorrect. Perry called me about on my way here and said, so the person who was going to host us is not hosting us anymore. I'll send you the new address after Shabbat, so look for a new email Sunday. And we remember those who died at this season in years past, whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. If you're joining us online to say Kaddish for a loved one, I want to invite you to say their names aloud at home. And if you're here in person to say Kaddish, please say their names as I look around the sanctuary. Zichronam livracha, may all their names and memories only be for a blessing. I want to invite all the mourners, if able, to rise for Kaddish Tom, Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Itkadal, v'ikadash, shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach rotei, v'amlich malchutei, v'chai echon, v'yom echon, v'chai dekol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach leolam alomei almaya. Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vitpa'ar, Vitromam, Vietnase, Vietadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemed, Kudasha, Brihu, Leila, Minko, Birchata, Vishirata, Tushbechata, Venechamata, Damiran, Bialma, Vimru. Amen. Yehe Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Vimru. Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Vimru. Amen. May the source of peace bestow peace to all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved, as we say, Amen. A few announcements before we conclude our service. First of all, a big thank you to Leah and the choir under the conducting of the cantor. The music was just absolutely superb tonight, so thank you all. Hot off the presses, I just spoke to Rabbi Or Zohar. He runs a program in the Galilee called Spirit of the Galilee, which is about creating peace through getting to know one another. He called and said, I'm going to be in America with Gadir Khani, who's Muslim, and one of our partners, and Father Saba Haj, who's one of our Christian lay leaders, and we're coming to your area. We're going to be in Manhattan the first week of March, and we're talking about the inroads that we're making even during war for fostering peace in Israel. Would you like me to come by the synagogue? I said, yeah, that'd be nice. Sure. So Saturday, March 2nd at 9:30, he and his interfaith trio are going to come to Anshe Emeth, and we're going to have all of the different ed programs come together for a conversation on peace in Israel, which seems like an odd thing to say right now. This Sunday, it's the Super Bowl. If some of you don't know, I was one of them. There's a tailgate party here, 5 p.m. Please come. So if you didn't know it was the Super Bowl, or you were trying to figure out what it was you were going to do, when you think Super Bowl, you should think Anshe Emeth. So come at 5. There's going to be wings and food and stuff. That's all I got, Cantor. At the conclusion of our service, we're going to join in Lippman Hall for Kiddush and Motzi and the opportunity to say hi to one another. And if you're here for Lamod La'aliyah, don't forget to come up and take a selfie with one of the clergy members to then email to school@AEMT so you can get credit for being here. Take it away, Cantor.
We close our service this evening with the singing of Yigdal on page 324 as we rise. We are singing verses 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, my favorites.
Yigdal Elohim Chai ve'yishtabach nimtza ve'eleh el meziuto echad ve'en yachid ke'ichudo Ne'lam v'gam ein sof le'achduto Ein lo dabut haguf ve'eino guf Donar kedushato kadmon lechol davar asher nivra rishon ve'en reshit lereshito hino adon olam lechol notzar yoreh gedulato umalchuto shefar nevuato netan oel Anshe Tegulato Tetifarto.
Adonai Oz le'amo iten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai will give strength to our people. Adonai will bless our people and all people everywhere with peace. Amen and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Upstairs.
I didn't know you even made it upstairs today, did you? Oh, wow.
Shabbat shalom, you guys. Hey Dave, how are you doing?
Watch the wire when you come out. Definitely.
This for you?
I've got it.
Got it? Like Shabbat shalom. Why? I was like so seriously singing that I forgot. I didn't mean to like. You're gross.
You both did really good in your slow. Go ahead. Turn out fine. Just watch this.